Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Subquery Prep. So we have a number of tabs here to complete, but none of them are too long. Let's go ahead and begin with average birth year. So we're going to sort the table by birth year in descending order. We'll do that simply by clicking anywhere inside. And then go ahead and pick the sort option. My list has headers, and we'll do birth year, and we'll pick descending order. So that would be largest to smallest. And it's sorted. That gives us 5 out of the 6 points. Now, one thing to say about that, we could also have converted it to a table and then use the drop-down arrowheads to do the sorting. Either is fine. All right, now we're computing the average birth year. So that's equals average, if I could spell it, A-V-R-A-G-E, average, and then it's the birth year column. So we'll start here, and Command-Shift or Control-Shift, if you're on a Windows computer, to get the entire range, and then hit Enter. And there's our average birth year, which is 1975. So we're all set. Next one is birth year by city. So again, we'll sort the table by birth year in descending order. And just to vary things up, I'll do this one the other way, converting it to a table. Do the format as table. And we'll go birth year descending, and that works. We got those points. And then let's go ahead and compute the average birth year. So that's equals average, and then we'll highlight the birth year column. Okay, so we're almost there. Now the last thing to do is make a pivot table displaying the average birth year by city. All right, so we click here and do the insert pivot table, and we'll go to an existing worksheet, click on this box, then click on pivot here. And now we've got this external data source warning, which we'll ignore. Click OK. All right, and now it's birth year by city. So we know that city is going to go here in the rows. The rows are going to show cities. Let's grab city, put it in the rows. And we want average birth year, so we want birth year to go into the sum values column, but we don't want actual sum, so we'll hit this button and pick average instead. And we don't want really ugly numbers, so we'll right click and format the cells number with 0 decimal places, and then that only that was odd. That didn't get them all. Let's try that again. Number format. Number 0 decimal places. There, that got them all. Okay, we can do a couple more things to clean it up. Go to the design view, and we'll pick report layout, outline form. And then we have to sort by average birth year in descending order. So let's sort by the same column, descending order, which we could do through here. Pick descending. That would work. We can also simply right-click on any one of the numbers and pick sort, largest to smallest. And that will also give it to us. And there we go. Got all the points. Next one is greater birth year. Sort the table by birth year in descending order. So as you've seen, we have 2 different ways to sort, But this time we also have to do a filter, so we'll go ahead and do the table way, though we could do it both ways. We'll click here. All right, and we're going to go birth year in descending order. So click birth year descending, halfway there, and birth year above average. Now this one, this is now new, right? This whole birth year above average. This is effectively what in SQL will be a subquery, a very sophisticated subquery. So it's kind of neat that this is actually built into Excel, and it's built into Excel in the filter. And if you click here, you'll see that above average is actually a thing built into Excel, which is wonderful. So just click above average, and you're done. What would be a subquery in SQL is just built right into Excel, so that's beautiful. Next one is average income. Sort the table by income in descending order. It's going to go income descending order, so I will go ahead, again, just to keep things varied up. I'll pick sort. Remember, my list has headers, which is good, and so we want income descending order is largest to smallest. And then I've got to pick up the average income. So it's equals average. And this one's going to be income. And we're all set. Next one is income by city. So we'll start out again, income in descending order. I'll do it differently this time. I'll click on the Home tab, Format as Table. And pick income descending order. There we go. And then I'm going to pick up average income. So equals average, A-V-E-R-A-G-E, and then income. Okay, almost there. And then pivot table income by city. So insert pivot table. And then make sure you click in this box before you click over here. All right, overwrite that data. And now we've got to have cities in the rows box. There they are. And it's average income, so we'll put income here in the sum values box. And we want that to be average, not sum. And we'd also like to eliminate the decimal places. So right-click on any one of these, pick number format. Number, let's take a peek at it. Yeah, just regular number, but with the comma separator. And no decimal places. Okay. And we're supposed to sort by income. Remember, two ways to do that. I could pick it up here, change the sort field to average of income, right, and then pick descending. That way works, and that did work. The other way, I could have just right-clicked on any one of these and picked sort, and either way will do it. In terms of the row label thing not being very pretty, we can fix that by going to Design View and Outline Form. Okay, next one is greater income. Sort the table by income in descending order, and then filter. And you might think, well, there's a filter, so the only way to get it is to do it as a table, but Excel really does provide two different ways to get it. We can still do the sort this way, income descending order. And then we can throw on a filter. See that? Just hit filter, and that adds those filter bars to each one. So we haven't actually made it a table per se, like we did on the last one, format as table, but we can still get the same options. And this is now income above average, so click on the drop-down arrow here and filter above average, and we get all the points. sort by Rotten Tomatoes descending order. So we'll hit sort, Rotten Tomatoes descending, and then the average Rotten Tomatoes equals average Rotten Tomatoes, all set. Okay, now we've got tomato by studio. So we're going to again sort descending. And if you're wondering why I'm doing this sort using this button and not just one of these, which I also could have done, I kind of like it. It's good practice, especially if it ends up being a two-level sort, so you don't get confused like, oh, how do I do two-level sort? Because it would be right here, and you could add the other levels. But this would have worked too. Okay, and then average Rotten Tomatoes equals average. There we go. And then finally a pivot. So insert pivot table. Remember, always click in that box first before you click on the yellow square. Overwrite that. And now we want studio in the rows. So those are two studios. And we want average Rotten Tomatoes by studio. So this is, instead of sum, average. Let's reduce that to 2 decimal points. So go to number format, number, 2 decimal places, which is great. And now let's go to design view, report layout, outline form. That was to get the studio to appear here. And then finally, let's change the sort order by Rotten Tomatoes in descending order. And the way that we're going to get that, remember, it's two ways. We can either right-click on any one of the numbers, any one of the Rotten Tomatoes scores, pick sort, largest to smallest, and that works. Or we could have done it through this drop-down arrowhead. That would have worked too. Okay, getting close to the end, I hope. Let's see. No, still got 4 more. Okay. Next one is grater tomato. Kind of strange titles, but that works. Sort by Rotten Tomatoes in descending order. So this time I'll show you that I could use this. As long as I'm clicked in this column, I can just use this, the Z to A, to get sorted by descending order. So that worked. And then we need to throw on a filter, so I'll simply click here for filter. That gives me all the filter arrows. Rotten Tomatoes above average. And so we pick under filter above average, and we're done. And then this one, sort by view year in descending order. So again, I'll do the same trick that I did before. There's descending. As long as I'm clicked in anywhere in the view year column, there's my view year in descending order, and then here's my average. There we go. And view year by venue. Okay, so sort by view year in descending order, so click here. There's my descending. And I'll leave my average again. Great. And then throw in a pivot table, insert pivot. Make sure you click in this box. And then click here. Overwrite. And average view year. So we know that we've got venues in the rows. There's venue. See if I can get in there. Okay. And we want average view year. So we want view year in the sum values, but not as a sum, as an average. All right, let's clean it up. We don't like the row labels thing. It'd be nicer if it said venue, so we can get that automatically by going to design view, report layout, outline form. So there's that. And now it looks like the average view year is going to be to 1 decimal place. So we'll right click here, number format, number, instead of 2 decimal places, just 1. No thousand separator on this one because it's years. And it looks like we're almost there, but we have to sort it. So we're going to sort by average view year in descending order. So right click, sort largest to smallest, and then we get it. And you're probably saying, well, wait a second, they were the same anyway. Why did we have to do it? But if we take these decimal places out further, they weren't the same. One was actually slightly bigger than the other. So, and the machine knows what's actually stored. Okay, last one is lesser view year. Sort the table by view year, descending order. So lots of options, as you know now. We can just click anywhere in the view year column, go to the data tab, descending, and filter by view year above average. So we throw on the filter, and then pick above average. Above average. Oh, below average, sorry. Below average. There we go. And we're all done. Go back to our summary tab just to see that we got all the points. We got all the points. Everybody's happy. So, and these are really practical skills. So that you'll be able to use long after this class. Have a good rest of your day.